Thank you, Mr. Mervan. Ms. Houchin, you're recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. I'm really glad to talk about this subject matter today. I'm glad that our first full committee hearing is focused on such an important issue, or such important issues. Like Dr. Fox said in her opening remarks, this could not be more rewarding work than looking out for the interest of students. Ms. Gentles, my first question is for you. I really appreciated your written testimony. I took particular interest in your discussion of literacy. My son is dyslexic. Many of our colleagues have children with dyslexia or other reading disabilities. So I've worked on this issue very closely in the state of Indiana as a legislator. You note the problematic use of balanced literacy. I appreciate your mention of the book by Emily Hanford, Sold a Story, How Teaching Kids to Read Went So Wrong. And I have experienced that firsthand, both as a mom and a legislator. We are making progress toward a more phonics-based instruction. I'm really glad of that. But I do know firsthand how hard it is to turn the bureaucratic barge. In the state of Indiana, we fought the Department of Education to implement screening for students with dyslexia and implementing reading specialists in the schools who have an understanding of the issue and how to teach kids to read. We have seen maybe a failure of what I would call the education industrial complex in this space. Reading scores are not just keeping pace, they are declining, and they have since we changed our methodology. So what more can we be doing at the federal level to encourage this transition to phonics-based instruction and bridge the gap, particularly in the higher education space?
Right, when you mentioned reading scores going down, 8th grade math scores got a lot of attention with NAEP, but it should be noted that a third of 4th graders are below basic in reading, and 30% of 8th graders are below basic. Below basic is appalling, and so keeping attention to where those scores are dropping, but then shining a light on where they went up. Where are the success stories? And Colorado is one of them when it comes to reading and ensuring that that this transition over to a more appropriate approach is happening. Mississippi is a great success story. So I think here at the committee you can shine the light, bring the leaders and the people who have implemented reading instruction and approaches to setting curriculum standards at the state level and implementing them at the district level here, so that people can know those models and follow them.
That's great. And I would like to note, when we're talking about learning losses, as a parent of a child with an IEP, COVID learning losses, all students were impacted, but no more than students with disabilities on IEPs. We didn't have specialized training to teach our children. I am not trained in the methodologies that help students with dyslexia, so that is something that we'll continue to have to strive to overcome. I do, Madam Chair, I would like to highlight that the students that have dyslexia and the Dyslexia Institute of Indiana reached out to me regarding strong support for a phonics-based approach, and I'd like to submit a brief statement to the record by the Dyslexia Institute of Indiana that they provided to my office.
Without objection.
Thank you. A couple of things I want to switch to Mr. Sullivan. I did have the opportunity to visit with Ivy Tech yesterday. Certainly we're very proud of their presence in southern Indiana in my district. And one of the things we talk about is the record number of job openings and the lower workforce participation rate and what we can do to increase that. Ivy Tech is working on increasing and drilling down on what high-skilled certifications are necessary. So that high-value industry-based certification, what is the single greatest barrier, in your opinion, to those types of credentials?
Well, thank you for the question. First of all, I would say to you, they are high-cost programs, which is one of the key areas. There are also programs that are difficult to identify faculty for, because they are typically the more skilled individuals, and so there are a number of challenges. But I want to be really clear of what you just said. Information is powerful. If you have the ability to point out a sector that is a growth sector in Louisiana. As an example, the cybersecurity space is a growth area, as I'm sure it is in many states around the union. So as we begin to develop those programs, as we deliver those programs to ensure we have the workforce there, I'll simply point out that our students are voting with their feet.
Yeah.
Time is the enemy. One other point that I can't help but point out here. This nation has millions of adults who do not have a high school diploma. As we sit today and talk about K-12 education, how in the world can parents be informed about their K-12 education of their child when they don't have an education themselves? And in the WIOA Act, adult basic education has been second fiddle for far too long. We are not serving the needs of adult students through WIOA, through adult basic education at the level that we need to. It's about skills. Yes, the high school diploma and equivalency is important, but we must find a way to put skills in front of these individuals so that they have the ability to get into the economy and to produce for their families.
I couldn't agree more. Thank you